Hey, and welcome back to the grappling hook launcher series. Today we're making the actual grappling hook launcher. Last video I made the grappling hook itself, and next video I'm going to make the winch system to pull me up to wherever the grappling hook lands. And yeah. Okay, so here's how I think I'm going to do this. So here we have the grappling hook, and the grappling hook conveniently fits on perfectly to the end of this pipe, which is screwed on to a hydraulic ball valve. And this is going to be our mechanism to let in the CO2 through and pushing out the grappling hook. So I'm going to cut this at the right length to have the grappling hook fit perfectly on. And then on the back side, right here, I'm going to take this pipe that screws into right here, and I'm going to cut it right down the middle. So I have two threaded points, and then in between that, I'm going to cut a length of this tube that's going to be the same length as this CO2 canister. And then I'm going to drill a hole in this piece of metal that's going to be welded onto the back of this, like that. And then I'm going to drill a hole in that to get this Schrader valve right in the middle of that. And then I'm going to weld that all together, and then it'll hopefully work. And if you're thinking, wow, that's really confusing, I'm really bad at explaining stuff, so it all makes sense when I'm done. And you're like, oh, that's what he's talking about. Okay, now that I have the pieces cut, it'll be much easier to explain what I tried to explain earlier. So, the grappling hook fits on to the end of the pipe, and then like that, and then this end of this screws in like that, or it'll screw in like that, and this piece of pipe will be welded onto the end of that, and then this will be welded on there, and then this piece of metal with a hole in it will be put right here and welded in, and then this Schrader valve will be tacked onto the end of the whole thing. So when we get the CO2 cartridge, I'll just go like, psh, and it'll go in there, and the pressure will be caught in this tube right here. And then I'll pull this lever back. It'll fire, hopefully. Alright, now let's weld everything together. Okay, so we have a problem. So the Schrader valve that I was going to use, turns out that doesn't actually fit into the CO2 cartridge adapter that I have. So I've cut off the end here, as you can see, and I'm going to change it out for a pressure valve, which it does fit into. So I gotta re-weld it, and yeah, that's what I'm gonna do. Okay, so here's what I've done. I've just clamped the whole thing and bench pressed on a table. You can just slide the grappling hook over, and then when I fire it, it's gonna go that way over there. And at the end, I took the valve out right now, but I just decided to thread that hole right there, and so I threaded it, and then I'm gonna have so much head tape on the valve itself, and I'm gonna screw it in really tight, and hopefully it will fire. So yeah, let's go test it. Okay, so that was a partial success because it was working. It did launch like kind of far over there, but it was leaking, and the CO2 canister didn't seal very well over the valve. So those are the two things I'm gonna fix for the final video, where I make the winch system to pull me up to wherever the grappling hook lands. And yeah, don't want to miss that. It's really cool. Third part next week. See ya.